Hey, good evening. Welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. One of the, as you can imagine, I get a ton of letters. I try diligently to answer every letter. And as I've said frequently before in other videos, if you have written to me and I haven't responded, please get in touch again. If it's on a specific subject, please get in touch again, because I actually enjoy being in contact, and I will respond, I promise. So if it's the second time, better put something in, put a heavily guilt-ridden subject line about it being the second time that you've had to message me, and I will get back to you. Well, looking at how the letters that come in indicate what we should actually be making videos on that will be helpful, because we're not just talking about our life and our simple life and how we find it. We're not trying just to be entertaining. We would like to think that we are helping. So what can we be doing to help? So looking at some of the videos, some of the letters that I get, and that is the questions about whether the lady that you are interested in. So I'm addressing people who are interested in coming and finding a wife here in the Philippines. And one of the things that comes up, and it comes up because some of the horror stories I get are all based around the fact that this question was not dealt with in the beginning. So now, I always say that it's easiest to do these things right at the beginning. It's easiest at the beginning to ask the questions. So you got awkward questions, ask them right up front. If you have started writing to someone, ask up front. And there is the question of whether the lady is married. Now, obviously, you don't want to be wasting time by writing to someone or trying to have a relationship with someone who is married. For one thing, it will be a setup, possibly, if they actually are married now and you don't get that cleared up. It can be a setup for you to get ripped off, and that's an unpleasant truth, right? So you need to get that sorted out. You need to find out right up front whether they are married. So you're going to ask them to get the government form that shows that they are not married. And here they have a special form. They can go, and it's like a certificate that declares that there is no registration of a marriage under that lady's name. So you need to get that sorted out, and that's if you ask for it right up front, it only indicates that you have honourable intentions and that you want to know about that first off. Once that is, I'm kicking the tripod. Once that's out of the way, it may come up not the answer that you want. It may turn out that you are still, sorry, a bug. It may turn out that you're still interested in the woman because she has been married in the past. So now we're into a whole other thing. Here in the Philippines, it is a common thing that a woman can be married, she can be trapped in a marriage which is no longer viable, in which the husband has now cannot be the ex-husband and yet is not the present husband. And he may have moved on and met another woman, moved in with her, and have a whole new family with that woman. And because they're in the Philippines and they're both all Filipino, they're not concerned about it and just live like that. Well, your lady can't do that, because if you're going to have a relationship, especially with one in which you want to live here in the Philippines, you're going to have to be married in order to get the residency, in order to have an organized life in which things make sense. So, what's the alternative? Can you get a divorce? They don't allow a divorce, and they don't recognize a divorce in the Philippines. So what they have is annulment. Or, now who knows what's in the thinking of the lawmakers when they draft this proposal. They don't want the breakup of the marriage, and they're trying to avoid that, and that's what is the issue. So they just ban divorce. Now, that doesn't help the poor woman who is now trapped within a marriage that no longer exists. Now, the thing is, if a person has been married, this video shouldn't all just be about annulment. Bottom line on annulment, I can sum annulment up very quickly. It takes a long time, and it takes money. Several 100,000 pesos with an attorney to work with them, and it has to be an attorney who has good contacts with judges and so on, who may be looking at the case. So I think here it's obvious that there is as much there's as much bad goings on here as far as getting things done as anywhere else. Corruption is not specific to any nation in the world. Every nation in the world gets into corruption. So it does happen that money can change this situation, but you want that situation changed. Now, there's a very good reason why, because unless that's changed, then you as a foreigner could actually be in trouble if you come over here and cohabit with a woman who is, after all, still married. Now, why would that happen? The husband may see you as possible ATM machine. Okay, so it's quite possible that if someone knows that their wife, even if they don't care about the wife, if their wife has taken up with a foreigner, then they're going to try to get cut in on the action. So you've got to be aware of that. And it can be serious here, because who knows, if the marriage broke up between the lady that you're interested in and this man, it may have finished because of a lot of very, very bad stuff going on. There was something on, there's a lady called Jessica Soho, and she runs human interest stories, which are sometimes wonderful, sometimes incredible, magical, and sometimes are horror stories. And one that was very recent was the woman left the man because he was being nasty to her. She went out. One day she heard a knock on the door, opened the door, and the man was there. And in the exchange which happened, he flung acid into her face and over her body. Oh no, I think it was even more horrible than that. Not that I want to go into that, but he put gas on her, gasoline, and set fire to her. She went through some terrible, terrible times, terrible pain, and months in hospital. So you obviously don't want to be interested in that. So you want to make sure that at the very least that there is an amicable agreement between the lady and the ex-husband, but that they just haven't gone through the annulment situation because of the money. So you will be paying for the annulment. You will be paying for it. It is possible. It will take time and it will take money, but you need to do your research on that, and that's very important. So don't come over and think, well, that's no problem. I can come over and we can live together. That would work in the States or in the UK or Australia, and who would be interested? Well, it is difficult, and I would recommend that you don't do that. Not that people aren't doing that, but not my recommendation. So, find out about the certificate that they need. Find out that they are either married or they're not, or what their status is, and then work at it from there, because you are going to want to know that everything is okay on that. So thanks for looking in. I hope it helps to know about the annulment thing. If you've got any questions, of course you can always personal message me. You can always email me. My email, I believe, is always on the end of the videos. So drop me an email, and if I can help, I will. Bye for now.